Hello. I feel like such a weirdo now because I forgot to hit the go live button and then I was going to play that little countdown for you because I actually have never done the countdown one before and I need to make a new intro because I don't like the one that I was using. So I'm going to do that. I have some good ideas. Um, and I didn't hit that because I'm looking at it. I haven't ever actually looked at it from the YouTube standpoint. I've always been looking at it in Streamyard and I now see how I could have like turned the chat off and all that stuff and avoided that fiasco. But um, I'm trying to figure out how to like send out notifications. I don't know if that's something you can do manually. I have no idea. I'll figure it out. Yes. And sorry for pushing it back like 10 minutes. Hey, Rody Gal. Like I said, I had to make sure certain people were in bed, although I was hoping that they were going to take the dogs out, but I don't hear any signs of that happening. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed because I'm going to have to get off of here otherwise. But yeah, I just wanted to check in. I don't really have I don't know. I just felt like talking. It's kind of my social time too. Plus, there's some stuff that went on today and that I wanted to kind of talk about. But like I've said, guys, this isn't going to be like a drama channel, like a super drama channel. And hey, Dave, good morning. Yes, it is morning where you are, huh? And I'm just I have a lot of plans for this. So I think people have noticed that I'm like posting that kind of stuff in my community tab about things that I'm doing going forward. But obviously, that's something I need to arrange ahead of time. Firstly, because my dad is very, very busy all the time. And hey, Abby, to find a time where he's available to come on. And I'm going to do a couple lives with him. So I have a couple topics, and I'm actually going to do a poll because I'm open to figuring out what kind of lives you'd want. And like I said, guys, because of everything that's gone on, I'm not comfortable saying his name until he introduces himself. He is a public figure, so it's not like he's not used to being visible, but he doesn't have social media. People impersonate him, but he doesn't have social media himself. So I've always offered to do that for him. Yeah, Dave, I agree. I'm hoping I'm going in the right direction. I always forget I can highlight comments. Let's do that. And yeah, just because I think that I'm noticing that I would like a change of pace for things because I feel like a lot of channels are doing drama. And it's like every day more and more of these small ones pop up and they're generally talking about the same things. Hi, Dave G. And I am doing well. I am. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All in all, I am. Yeah. Definitely have like an anxiety provoking day, but that's just because I'm on like the last couple days of my term. The program I'm in for my master's degree, I literally go to school all year round. I think I get a month-long break at the end of August. And other than that, I just get 2 weeks in between. So, and I didn't realize that. So I'm already signed up for my other classes. One of them is social media, and it's like I have to post my links. So I looked further in, and it's going to want my link to my YouTube. And I'm like, I'm not really sure if I want to share this YouTube professionally. So I might have to make another channel just for that. But, whatever. And then people can say, I'll have like no subscribers. So I'll be like, people can laugh at me. That's fine. I don't think I've updated my LinkedIn since, oh God, 2013, maybe 2012. So I have some work to do. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but it's because I do marketing and it's like business and they want people to make connections and network and so on and so forth. So I get why. And I am all for that because basically it's a 2-year program, but you do have to go to school all year round. And I am so determined to get out of it within 2 years so I can up my earning power and get a job that I actually enjoy. So that will be great. Hi, X amount of words. So yeah, tonight, like I said, StreamYard keeps being really stupid. Yes, they do, Rody Gal. I'm telling you. And mine is so awful right now. I always forget that I have it. And it was when I was doing social work and like, I swear to you, I was like padding my credentials in that. And I'm not even sure why. Probably because I was like the youngest person that worked in that at the Providence Center. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cringe. It's so cringe. I'm like that. I don't know why I would have put that have a specialty in any of those things. Like I took a class in grad school, but I'm certainly not like I have no business saying I'm at all like a professional in play therapy. Like there's no. I'm like, why would I do that? That's stupid. But that's okay. That's okay. I think I was just kind of they gave you like a lot of options, and I just checked off a bunch of them. I don't know. I don't know. So I feel like, yeah, and it tells you like who clicks on your thing, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But you know, it is what it is. Social media, it's a blessing and a curse. But hopefully, I'll be done within 2 years. But who knows? So I wanted to come on here, and Streamyard keeps screwing up, and it said that I had a live scheduled for tonight, which I know I scheduled for Friday, and I was like, oh, okay. So it says I'm going live anyway. So I figured then I was like, I'll come on for a little bit. I don't want to go to bed too late because I've actually been getting up early and getting a lot done, which feels really good to do. And I want to continue that. And, you know, I have no food in my house right now. So I got food. I Rodigal, I got Greg's. I got a whole, like the big order of the pickles too. Like the big order of them because the pickles are like the best. So yeah, no cake though, Rody Gal. I was like, no sugar. I'm very tempted to get a slice of death by chocolate cake, but I can eat the whole thing. I probably could eat the majority of that cake, which is really disgusting that I can do. I have no business being able to eat something like that because some people can't even get through the like one slice. It's the chocolate chips on the outside that I don't care for. Yeah, your profile pic. Yeah. So I don't know. I tuned into a bunch of lives today, and like I said, I'm still gonna talk about the stuff that goes on in the community because I'm part of this community and I want to talk about some stuff. And I think that that's fine. I think that that's still heading in the right direction with everything that I want to do. Because obviously, like I said, the lives that I'm trying to plan are going to take some time to actually plan. And it's because I have to like divide them into topics, and I need to let my dad know what those are because I want it to be a good experience. I really want to like do the first one. I want it to be really great. So I do know what the first one's going to be, and we're going to focus because my dad does. I swear to you, he like does everything. So I mean, I don't even know where to begin. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the parole board. Hey, Navigator. And I'm going to have him come on and talk about his experience being on the parole board for 24 years, some of the cases that really haunt him, because he has quite a few, and some of the really interesting and cases that were like tough to vote on or ones he got some heat from. I'm pretty sure he'll use names because it's public record, but I'm not sure. It's whatever he's comfortable with. And he'll probably be on camera, so because I don't think he understands how to do it any other way, and he's used to it. So, and I want him to be able to answer your guys' questions. So I'm thinking like the first time I might, or at least at first, I'm gonna like put questions together like from the chat. But if it goes well, I am all for bringing people up on panel to ask if they'd like, and I'm sure my dad would be very open to answering them. And then we're gonna like another one. I'm gonna do a segment on discussing things like serial killers and mass murderers, stuff like that, and some of the cases. I actually want him to give his opinion of the Watts case because he has some interesting views on that, and he has a couple others that I think people would be interested in. He's corresponded with some infamous inmates, so I don't know if he'd be willing to share any of that. I have no idea. I have no idea what he's comfortable doing, but I know that he's comfortable coming on here because, you know, I'm his daughter, and I think he's actually proud of what I'm doing on YouTube for the most part. So I think a lot of it he doesn't understand because he's like, what are these videos? Like, why are you making these? And, you know, we've talked about it, but it's all good. It's all good. So I'm putting that together, and I think that's going to be really awesome. I think people are really going to like that. And like I said, I am almost confident. I am almost sure that many, many people in this community will recognize him, especially if he's on camera. So definitely if he's on camera, you'll recognize him from many places. But like I said, I'm not going to dox him ahead of time. I'm going to let him introduce himself, which he will. And then I'm just going to ask everybody to please be respectful. I don't plan on doing anything that's gonna, you know, drive somebody to want to harass my family. and I'm just gonna hope that people can be respectful. But he's very familiar with loons on the internet. Like I said, people have tried to make social media profiles as him many, many times, and he doesn't have social media, so I'm usually the one that sees it. And one of them even stole a picture from my Instagram, which was very violating. It was very violating. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was like, who is this? And it turned out the person was based in Indonesia, I think, or somewhere, maybe somewhere he had done a lecture with one of his book tours. I can't remember. It was somewhere in that area, which was really strange. Okay. I don't know why you would say that. Whatever that hashtag is there. I don't really care what your opinion is. I do what I want to do, and there are people that find it interesting. So if you don't find it interesting, you can go elsewhere. Simple as that. Simple as that. I don't understand why you would come into a chat that you don't enjoy just to say something like that. I don't do that to other people. So moving on. Hey, Megan. Good to see you as usual. Yeah, Navigator. That's actually one of the ones that he has a lot of like information on, and I really like his take, particularly on the Columbine shootings, or massacre. I think is like the proper way that they refer to it. I really enjoy that, and he has a really interesting take that I believe is very close to what I think, because I've gone down the rabbit hole on that one, because that happened when I was like entering like high school or that age, and that really impacted a lot of how schools were functioning at the time. And I don't know if I know that I'm like a little young for a lot of the people here, and yeah, you know what, we're gonna do this because I'm not in a mood for nonsense today. We're not gonna do that. We are not gonna do that. But yeah, I think that it's gonna be good. I want to do like some watch parties too. I need to figure out how to do it, because technically, if it's my dad's property, like why can't I share it, right? Like that I don't think that would be copyright infringement. Oh, I don't, Megan. I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who goes into channels they don't like and just drops comments like that. I mean, I don't really give two flying fucks about your opinion of my channel. So moving on. Sorry, BeePlus After Dark. Hello, Liberty Farmer. Welcome. And I have a couple other surprises for everybody. Yeah. Oh, isn't it though, Navigator? It really is. It really, really is. And I feel like, well, I mean, I want to say, I want like to think that, but it's scary. And I remember with my school, I literally was impacted by all of that, just because I was kind of a goth kid, believe it or not. Like I would wear the pants with like the zippers all over them, all black, my hair all like weird colors, and people were afraid of me, quite frankly, just because I was weird. And I, didn't really talk to that many people. So, right after that happened, a lot of people would, Megan, that's actually a really interesting point that you made, because I have a follow-up to that. And so yeah, people would like sign. I got called to the guidance office a couple times because somebody would think that they hurt my feelings or something, and that I was going to get. I would have never done it. Obviously, I never even like talked to anybody. So I think people just get are afraid of what they don't understand, I guess. But that was an interesting time in my life. But yes, so with the cell phones, it's really interesting you say that, because my parents are a little bit older. They adopted me when they were, I believe, like 40. Early 40s. So, when texting first came out, like I was given a cell phone pretty young, like one of the like ancient ones, like even before the Nokia bricks. It was like I don't even know how to pronounce it, like Kyocera or something. I don't know. And my parents had that Motorola, like the really big flip phone, very early. But, I didn't have those at the programs. I could earn it at the last one I went to, and I did. But that's stupid. But we had, my parents were like so against texting. I wanted texting so badly. And my dad was so convinced that it wasn't going to be a thing, that it was just a fad. It was gimmicky. It was too expensive. I mean, I don't know why. I think that's just his excuse for everything. Because, well, you know what? Back then, I guess it was a little expensive. And my dad wasn't going to, they weren't going to pay for something that they didn't use. My parents, I didn't even realize that, growing up, that my parents really had My parents are really modest. They're not materialistic. They're really down to earth. So it's that's probably why. I mean, whatever. But you're riding home from grandma's. Yes, everybody should behave. That's exactly true. Liberty Farmer, best behavior. And my parents, it took. I remember it was the Virginia Tech shootings, and afterwards they because I was in college, so they were like, okay, so they're going to start to send out notifications on cell phones if there's something going on campus. And it was then that my dad decided that texting was something that we should get. But I got texting a little bit late compared to everybody else. That's for sure. And I just switched to iPhone over the summer, and I'm not going back. I really enjoy iPhone. I was a little afraid of the switch, but I'm glad I did, because I am never looking back on that. But yeah, so that's why, though, with the cell phones, you want your kid to have that. And I guess that's how my introduction to having texting. I woke up one day and my dad texted me, and I was like, oh my God, I have texting. And I wish it was for a better reason, but yeah, you had a Kyocera too. Yeah, it had like interchangeable faceplates, and they were really awful colors too. I forget what the other one was, but the one I had on it was like a dark forest green. And I remember that, yeah, you couldn't do a whole lot with those. It had one of those antennas that you could like pull out all of the way. And I think my next phone was I wanted the Nokia brick, but I don't think, because we had Verizon from the get-go, and I don't think Verizon had those. I think that was a singular. Was it singular? Oh God, why can't I remember that? I think it was singular at that point. So yeah. I appreciate everybody too, Liberty Farmer. I really do. Actually, I really appreciate what you put together for me, because I think that's going to be really good. So I have a couple surprises up my sleeve with a variety of different things, and I will start to promote those things as it's sooner coming up. And it's not my channel. Some of this stuff is going to be happening elsewhere, and I don't know. Not for the first one, but for the second one, I'm not sure if I'm going to be like involved in it. I'm hoping I am, because that would be really, really great exposure, actually, because you'll see. And it's gonna be good. I think you guys will be interested. Yeah, did it light up blue? I can't remember. I really can't remember. It was like so long ago. I should remember. And I think it had like one of those brick games on it as well. But that was it. And I wanted the Nokia, because the Nokia had like, cool games. But I actually, what, the Motorola that I got afterwards had some cool games on it too, which I really, really liked. That might have been one of my favorite phones. And then, the picture phones. And I mean, look what we have now. It's insane how technology has evolved. So yeah, like I said, guys, I'm just going to continue to do my own thing. And if people like it, that's great. If they don't, they don't. But I think having like the true crime the way I want to do it is going to open up to a new audience as well. So I'm hoping to maybe get some new people to come and discuss stuff that might be not from this community. Because at this point, guys, I'm over it. I'm just so over it. I've had people email me and they're like, "Oh, are you gonna, reach out to you should really reach out to this person because and I'm just like, at this point, guys, I've just seen too much. I'm gonna keep everybody at arm's length. I don't need that extra stress in my life. Nobody does. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not somebody that's going to come on here. I don't want to fight with anybody. I don't want to do anything like that. But I'm not going to take a side either. I'm not going to go back to something I'm not comfortable with. And that just happens to be anywhere at this point. And I think that that's okay. I don't know why people have such a problem with that. I don't know why, if you want to do something different in this community, it's seen as awful, but I guess that's how it is. And I like you guys. A lot of you guys I've gotten to know in the chats. I think we've had some really good chats, especially recently. And you guys are like, I consider you guys friends. So why would I want to start up my channel and do live somewhere else where I don't know people? Like, why would I want to do that? Of course I want to hang out with you guys. So that's why I'm here, and there's nothing wrong with me being here. And yeah. I'm trying not to Okay, I'm not gonna get angry. We're not gonna get angry. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. What's the point? What's the end game? What are we even doing anymore? Like, I don't, at this point, I don't understand. I don't understand what the issue is. So, hi, Air Force Vet. Good to see you. And yeah, the people who show up, that's all I need. That's all I need. Yeah, drama sells, but it eats you alive. Really does. And it's not even, you know, I think for me, it's more so it's like inconvenient almost because I just, why would I want to be involved in that? For me, it's not exciting. It's not fun. I don't enjoy going at people in the sense that I've been seeing stuff. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to be the reason that anybody, feels badly. And I think that I can get caught up sometimes for sure, for sure. And I have, but ultimately guys, I just want to kind of do my thing here. And I've started maybe seeing some, but I just every day I come in and there's a new channel on one side or the other that's making more content at the other person, and whatever guys, like if I don't want to be part of that. I just don't. And we have some good plans here, and I'm excited. I'm really excited, actually. That's what I wanted to do from the beginning. I even had the live scheduled. I had the thumbnail. Yeah, T. Adams. Me too. Me too. I think I'm hoping that more people are. Hey, Golden. But I don't know how long it's going to take to run its course. I feel like it's gone on for long enough, and I don't have an issue with people who are really I don't know how to say this. I don't want to judge how anybody else runs their channel, right? So people can run. That's not the issue. I just think that there doesn't need to be as many people involved as there are, and it's I don't know. And it's been taken to a level that I haven't seen anywhere else before. And I know some people who are very well versed in YouTube communities because it's like where they live, pretty much. Mostly people younger than me. So I've asked them, and they have also said that what's going on here is like a notch above like the intensity that it happens elsewhere, which is really disturbing. Hi, Coco's happy. I'm glad that you're intrigued. I hope so. I hope so. I think it's going to be good. I do. And I think a lot of you guys are going to recognize my dad, which might be a good or a bad thing because of the people that are here. Some people don't want to be, but whatever, guys. If you want to do that, then whatever. I would hope that people would be respectful of that kind of thing, especially if it has nothing to do with anybody that they support or that they like. But I think that might be wishful thinking. So, well, Abby, I know how you feel about that, and I know, but I think that the problem is, in my opinion, it's much bigger at this point. And I'm just not here for it. I'm just not here for it. Like before, it was like there was like new stuff, but I don't have anything else to necessarily say. I don't. Oh, thank you, T. Adams. No, I appreciate that. I always enjoy seeing you. You're one of the names that I'm like super familiar with that I've seen from a very long time. So, I know that you've been in the community for a while, and you always have interesting things to say in chat too. Hi, Mishi. And yeah, I'm glad somebody likes listening to me talk. Sometimes when it just, well, Abby, and I get that, but I don't think it's solely, it's evolved, right? At this point, things have just gotten worse. And I truly believe that. And if people want to be offended by that, I don't mean that offensively. I don't think anybody, well, that's a lie. I think there are some people that did, but I don't think like the people that are going to think that I'm whatever. I don't think that was their intention coming in here. I think that there are people that really wanted to make a difference, but I don't know. I don't know how it got to the point it is. And maybe I contributed to that happening. I'm sure I did. And yeah, I want to stay away from the drama too. And there's obviously other people that do. Yeah, you're living in YouTube. It is bizarre. And that's why I do talk about it, Golden, is because, like, I mean, I think you're trying to make a different point, but oh no, you're not. Yeah, people in real life don't get it. You try to talk about this to somebody else, and they literally are like, "Are you crazy? Do you need to sit down? Do you need some water? I don't have no idea what you're talking about. Like, we don't need a new recliner, and I don't know whose granny you're talking about, and so on and so forth." That's usually what I get, anyways. And that's why I come on here and talk, because it's stuff that I'm seeing and it affects me in a way, because I feel like I'm part of this community. I've made some strong connections here. And sometimes I do want to talk about it. And a lot of you guys want to talk about it too. And just the stuff that we're seeing. But I don't feel like people come in here and do it in a way that's inappropriate. Even people that I've seen elsewhere who might get a little frisky with their words, if you know what I mean. Which I have no problem with. I mean, who am I to I don't, whatever, but they're respectful here. And that's all that matters to me. And it is escalating. That's right. 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 That's what I'm saying, Navigator. And I'm in the same boat as you with that. I feel like there's a lot of the information is out there. And if people don't want to see, you can't force people to open their eyes, or you know what I mean? You can't force people to change what they believe or what they like. And nor do I want to. At this point, because I feel like there's been enough awareness brought that anybody who wanted to kind of get out of it, they would have done it by now. And that's where I'm at with it, because I have nothing else to add necessarily. And if there's anything new that comes along, like, certainly I might mention it, but at this point, I feel like I'm just saying the same stuff over and over and over again. And there are people that say it much better than I do. So why would I want to stick in that boat? But, and I thank you, Golden. I don't think so either. But when I'm seeing people call me some of the names that I've been called very recently, it really makes me wonder. I've never been called evil before, but I was called evil somewhere. And I was like, okay. And I think that maybe goes into people always don't like what they don't understand. But because I've been here for a while, and I think that there are many, many good people in this community. Don't get me wrong. I really, truly do. I think that a lot of people are good people. And I just think that when somebody comes in and has like a different style almost, people don't like it for some reason. And I don't. Yeah, T. Adams, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that I feel very similarly, because I was finding myself kind of trying to fit a character, not a character, but a style that isn't me here. I am not like that in my real life at all, or anywhere else. So for me to try to do drama the way other people maybe do, it didn't fit me. It didn't fit my personality. It didn't work for me. And it was, I don't want to be anybody but myself with anybody, because it's the easiest to just be myself. And let's see, I wouldn't talk about this. Yeah, not with colleagues. No, Chowder. No. But people in my life who are subjected to listening to the people, because I'll have it on the TV. I usually put headphones on because most of the voices here people don't like listening to for long periods of time, and they tell me so. But and that's fair, I think. But it is true. Yeah, T. Adams, I don't think I've seen you say anything particular. I'm not everywhere though. I mean, but I don't think. Hi, Without Borders. Good to see you. And yeah, that's what I'm saying though. I think that a lot of people get caught up here, and that's human. That's normal. I don't think that makes people bad people. I don't think that makes people mean necessarily. Like, there are some people that are clearly bullies, and that's what they do, and that's probably who they are in real life. And but I don't think that's true of everybody. And I'm usually okay at seeing that, but clearly I'm not. There are some people that have me fooled, let me tell you. But I'm hoping that there is some sort of. I'm not here to, and I've contemplated. I'm like, the whole concept of making peace, I feel like maybe that's taken differently for me. I'm all for, I don't mean peace as in I'm going to go and be part of the community. I'm not going to say that I want peace and then you'll see me over in that chat or that channel participating. That's not what making peace means to me. What making peace means to me is, um, what is it? It's just basically, just toning stuff down because I have nothing to add. And I really want to do other stuff. And for me, making peace is just being like, okay, I don't really care for certain people. I don't really want to be part of their community because I can't get behind it, but I don't want to be disrespectful either. That's what I'm saying. I get you without borders. That's a really great point. That's a really great point. I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way. And I have family that watches me. So when people are asking me, they're like, that's not you, like, I've never seen you say something like that before. I kind of have to take a step back and be like, okay, well, what am I doing? Because it's hard. I'm not a good actor, guys. I'm terrible. I'm just terrible at it, and it's work. So I can only be myself. And if people like it, great. That's wonderful. I'm really, really glad that people like it. But if people don't, that they don't. But I don't plan to just stick with, this. I stay in this community because I like you guys, but I also have other things that I want to do, which I think will draw other people. But yeah, Navigator, I know. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. I like being here, and I don't plan on going anywhere as much as people would like me to. And I don't understand that at all. I don't understand why I'm seeing my name as many places. Like, I had no idea that some people had a problem with me until I saw that. And I don't even know who a lot of these people are. They're on channels that come up in my recommended, or somebody has sent it to me because they're like, look, I saw what's going on with this. And usually it's on a channel that I've never even heard of. So I'm just like, what? But I think what bothers me the most about a lot of stuff is just that so many, how do I put this? When you're talking about other people and you're leaving comments like that, and especially if you don't even know me, because I've never seen some of these names in my entire life, but you're writing that I'm evil and some other stuff that was really inaccurate about me. If you don't know me and you're just taking other people's words for it, then you're just spreading that misinformation. You're just spreading that as if it's fact. And it's not. It's not fact. I can tell you right now, I've seen things about myself that I didn't even know. And that's what I think I don't care for, because I see it done to other people too. Don't get me wrong. I'd see it done to other people 100 times worse. But and people run with that as fact. They'll see it and they'll be like, oh, well, you must be an expert on it, when those people don't even know that person. And that bothers me, especially when you have a small channel like mine. It really affects me. I mean, I wish I could say that my channel didn't take an enormous hit from the stuff that's been said about me and all of that for the past 2 weeks, but it has. So if that's what people wanted, then, clap, 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 you've succeeded. But I don't know. It is like a game of telephone without borders. It absolutely is. Yeah, right. The same set. Right. Coco's happy. That's a really great point. And it's in text, right? So if you're looking at something, we don't hear tone of voice. We don't see body language when we're reading the text in here. And a lot of stuff gets misconstrued or taken the wrong way. Like, I have had comments directed at me that I thought were somebody making fun of me, but it's just sarcasm. But sarcasm doesn't translate well on here. And I've done that too, because I'm the queen of sarcasm. And I think that can be really challenging as well. But the thing is that, yeah, they see a video and then they post a comment and they're like, oh, did you know that so-and-so did this? And then people are like, oh my God, did they really? And then you see it somewhere else. And I don't claim to be everywhere and I don't see everything, but there are some things that I see that are just so out of context for that person, from what I've seen, out of character rather, that, deep down in my soul, I know that that's not real. But, sometimes people surprise me. But that's what I said, guys. I don't really care what people's, if they have a criminal record. I don't care about what happens outside of YouTube. Like, I don't want to talk about that crap. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I think people can change. I am living proof that people can change. But I don't know why that's like being used as an insult. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Well, chatter, and I get that, and that's what I'm seeing. So, like I said, though, the reason that I'm here in this community is because I like you guys. I like talking to you guys. I've missed many of you because of because I used to go to a lot of different chats. I used to do a lot of, and it wasn't anything like personal to anybody, and I want to make that really, really clear. If I don't feel like, I don't know. If the chat doesn't feel right to me, then you're probably not going to go in there. Or if I go in there and I say hello and literally nobody acknowledges me at all, I don't, people generally don't want to be in that chat, because people go to the chats because they want to interact. And if nobody's interacting with them, like, they might listen to the lives, but why would they want to come in the chat? But a lot of you guys I've gotten to know in one place or another, and some of you probably got to know me under a different name. But which I don't know. I don't feel like revealing at this point. So a lot of people know who it is. But I've had a few, actually. I've had two. I know a lot of people have changed their names a bunch of times, but I think I've had two. One of which was too close to my actual name, and I was like, no, we can't have that. But I agree, Chowder, and that's why I'm hoping to expand my topics and start using like the hashtags that are appropriate for those topics to see if maybe I can get some new viewership and some new participation, which I'm pretty confident I can. But the reason I'm here is because I like you guys. So I like to talk to you guys. I don't want to go to a different community and have a chat with people I don't necessarily know right away, especially when I was just starting out on here. I had never done this before, ever. And I appreciate that, T. Adams. I'm not necessarily leaving, but I'm definitely going to do some different stuff that might land me somewhere eventually. But I feel like, we're in like a snow globe, and it's like in this constant state of like all the glitter everywhere, and it just, nobody will let it just settle. And I don't know. A lot of people like to make me think that there's not a place for me, but I disagree, because not everybody wants to take a side per se. Like, some people just want to come on here and be themselves. Some people just want to come on here and, socialize with who they want to socialize. And sometimes that happens to be maybe in a chat that they're not, 100% really, they don't 100% like that creator, but they see people that they like. And that's what it should be. It's entertainment. So nobody should be ashamed or feel like they can't chat somewhere. I don't like that. I don't like that people go in places and are afraid to chat because people attack them. And I see it every day. People are like, why are you in here? I thought you supported so-and-so. How are you in this? And it's like, sometimes people just want to chat with the people that they like, or actually, you know what? They don't even need a reason. They don't need to justify it. People should be allowed to go wherever they want. And that's what bothers me the most is what I see people doing when somebody that they're not used to seeing in the chat, or somebody that used to mod for somebody else, or people immediately I see them jumped on. Why are you in here? No, well, why can't they be in here? If they're being respectful, why can't they be in here? Like, I don't understand that. Because some people aren't, there are some people that troll, absolutely, like, don't get me wrong. But there are some people that really just want to do their own thing and and I don't know why, when we got to the point where you couldn't even be anywhere else. And that's just my take on it. I know not everybody feels the same way, but yes, Golden. Let's see. Yes. Right, Golden. And that's what bothers me. That hurts, is because I think a lot of people come on here for that connection. I know I did. A lot of us have been cooped up in the house, or we're not getting out as much as we used to. We're working from home still, and we're not getting out of the house to have that, out of the house work socialization. And I say, and I think that's why a lot of people, especially in the past 2 years or so, have ended up coming to YouTube to make those connections. And when people start to have differences of opinion. I know that there are people on, either side per se that I miss very much. And we don't talk anymore because of this nonsense. And, at first when I came on here, I was kind of doing the whole, we're from all over the globe. We have all walks of life. And the one thing that we have in common is most of us used to, or still do, watch Natasha Cooper. But I think it's so much deeper than that. I mean, if you really take a look, there's a lot of common themes between us. There's a lot of people that struggle with similar things or have similar life experiences. And I think that that's where it matters that you connect. And that's what I'm trying to do. But I know it's not going to be easy building a channel in a drama community if you're not doing drama. But that's the problem, though, is that this wasn't always drama. This wasn't always like, there was always drama, but it was like true crime and other content with like some drama that would go on here and there. But now it's completely changed. And I'm kind of bored, and I want to see the content that I used to see. I feel like every channel I go to, and I even click on new ones that come up in my, the recommended on like the discovery page or whatever. I'll click on them, especially if it's a name that I've seen in a chat, just to hear what they have to say, because you never know. I mean, sometimes some people have really good takes. Like that's how I discovered, oh God, what's her name? Stargazer, who has a really lovely voice to listen to. I'm not going to lie. Really lovely voice. I could probably listen to her read just about anything. And, I happened to click on her video and I was like, okay, this is calming for me. But, there are some times that I'm clicking on a lot of the ones, especially the ones who do lives, and it's all about the same topic, critiquing the same video. And why would people want to come to my channel when you can go listen to somebody be really more dramatic, So, and I wish somebody would stop shaking the snow globe too, Coco. Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. But I also don't think that there's not a place for me. And that's what's frustrating. But I'm just going to do my own thing. Like I said, and like I've stated in my live yesterday, I have a lot coming. And I'm going to do some true crime. I'm going to try to do some other like deep dives of other like weird, true, freaky, like maybe, unexplained, unsolved mystery type stuff. If I can figure out how to organize it and present it in a way that's coherent. But it takes a lot of work. So when you see creators that, actually do their homework and they come in with a really great presentation for everybody, that's content as far as I'm concerned. That takes a lot of work, and it's time consuming. It is, because I've started to kind of do it. I'm actually working on a documentary right now, which I know that people will enjoy. And I don't know if I'm going to like break it up into series, because let me tell you guys, making even the 2-minute videos to edit those takes like an hour. So doing a 30-minute video, let me tell you, it is a slow process, but I'm learning about making videos, and I like to do it. And I just appreciate each and every one of you, because I wouldn't have a channel without you guys. And that's where my loyalty lies, is to the people that support me every single day, the subscribers that come here and participate in the chat. Like my loyalty is to you guys and what you guys want, nobody else. And that's what I want to do. That's why I do like the polls. Like I want to I want to see what you guys see in the community. How would you know my dad to say? That's a good question. If you're into true crime documentaries, you probably will recognize him from many, many, many of them. Let's see, podcast. He's all over. You will. Like, if you don't recognize his picture, you might recognize his voice. I'm trying to think of all the things. He has a radio show on NPR radio. He does a lot of stuff. So, yeah. No, I know what you mean, Chatter. I know. But I think you had a good point with that as well, though. I'm learning that very much. So, but yeah, if you're into true crime or you do social work in any way, shape, or form, you'll know who he is. How far back? Well, my dad's been doing this for, oh God, his entire life. Like that's what he's criminology, very. He just, yeah, he looks at stuff from a criminology standpoint. I'm trying not to, like, his big claim to fame, I'm trying not to disclose yet, because if you Googled it, like, that's the name that would come up. So, yeah. He's in, and some people do know who he is on here. Some people do, and they've watched the documentaries, and that's what I want to do, like the watch party, because he's in a lot of documentaries, and a lot of series and podcasts, just talking about like more of like the mental health aspect of crimes and the criminology and victimology, and looking at the psychological things that drive people to do what they do. But he was also on the parole board for 24 years. He was on an A&E show about that, I believe. And yes, he's been involved in some cases that got national attention, but not all. Does he have white hair? He does now, Golden. He does now. He does now, but that would be probably in the past 15 years or so, 10, 15 years. But he does now, yes. And he's been in some new documentaries that I don't even know of. Like, half the time I'll be watching them and I'll be like, oh, there's my dad. Or, you know, somebody will be like, you know, I was watching this documentary and like, I was like, I know him. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that he was in that. Yeah, no, I know, SA, I know. And, you know, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come on here immediately. I even had the live scheduled with a thumbnail made and everything. But when stuff started getting really crazy, I was like, I can't bring my dad into this. And I don't want to, but you know, because he is a public figure, he is no stranger to crazy people on the internet who do weird stuff. So he, like, I have seen people legitimately fangirl, and it's very uncomfortable. But yeah, they'll be like, "Oh my god, have I?" Well, you know, Chowder, that is, I think that's complicated. I don't think that's something I really want to address. Just know that I have reached out. Yeah, I've talked to some people privately, and it is what it is at this point. I don't have a problem with anybody. I want to make that very clear. Like, I really, really don't. And yeah, I don't really necessarily want to talk about that on here, because I'm not really sure. Hold on. I think community's origin story. Yeah, I get that, Golden. I do. And there's some new creators taking time off. Right. And I like that. I really do. And I can see that already, Mike. I can see that as well. And I appreciate that, because it's something new, right? It's something that's different. And I don't want to just click on videos and have the same topic being covered everywhere. Because like I said, there are people that cover that, like the drama stuff, way better than I do. Like, I know this. So why would people want to come here? Or else they like it for another reason. So, and some people do, because it's just chill. And I never came on here to, you know, go out or after anybody like that. I don't want to compete with, I don't even think like that. And it's like people place their way of thinking sometimes on other people, and I do it too. So I need to be careful about that too, because I just assume people think the way I do, something in like the basic thought processes, whatever that is, the plural, but they don't. There are some people that are going to go from 0 to 100 in the drop of a dime, and I'm not really used to that. Hey, Missing in Life. And there are going to be people that, yeah. And you know, that's what I'm saying though. I enjoy what I do. I'm going to do what I do. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If my channel's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. And I kind of came on here without really a destination involved. I mean, in mind, like I didn't actually think I'd get any subscribers. So I'm kind of like, the fact that I've gotten to where I have is just mind-boggling to me, and I'm honored. So if that's what I get, then that's perfectly fine with me. You know, the fact that as many people even show up and listen to me, wow. I'm truly honored about that. So I'm not unhappy. I think that really what bothered me as much of anything else is what has gone on over the past 2 weeks. Plus, I've been dealing with some personal things going on, and it was kind of like a perfect storm. And I didn't feel that I deserved a lot of the things. And you're listening. Okay. Oh yeah. Listening and working. All right. Yeah. See, the fact that you're listening at work is like, I'm like, really? somebody's listening to me. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. And yeah, that's what I try to do, essay. And it's like my what I want for the channel is constantly evolving depending on what's going on and how things work. I'm brand new to this. So I'm not really sure how a lot of stuff should work or does work, and I'm working on all of that because I want to make my lives. I don't want to talk at you guys. I'd like to do some I am going to do some panels. I have one about people's adoption stories coming up, and my own, and my adoptive mother is going to come up and help me tell that. So you guys will get to meet both of my parents. And I think that'll be nice. There's a lot of people that have actually reached out that want to participate in that. And I had no idea anybody would have interest in that. And a lot of people do. So, we're going to do that too. But I want to do some panels because I don't want to talk at you guys. I want to talk with you guys. And I also want to be able to like present something that's like visual as well. Because I'm usually listening. So for me, it doesn't matter, but I was putting it on the TV and I'm like, you're just looking at a bubble doing this. Like, that's got to be really boring. So I'm going to learn more. I'm going to figure out the screen sharing thing. I thought I had figured it out, but then I got scared because of the strike threat from the stupid program I went to. That's like a cult. And I was warned that this would happen. Thank you, Mike. I'm excited about it too. I am. And that's all that matters to me. That's really, I didn't come on here expecting to blow up or anything like that. I just had some stuff to say. I had some things that I wanted to say. I wanted to give my take because I'm part of this community. And then people started to really enjoy the videos. So I started like figuring out how to do them even more. And I wasn't even going to go live ever because I've listened to other creators talk and I never thought that was something that I could do. I always didn't think people would want. I didn't think anybody was going to show up to my first live, but a lot of people did, which I was flattered by. I didn't expect that. And as it's gone on, I enjoy coming on here just for the chats and the interaction because I can use my voice and I'm not constrained to a certain amount of letters. Because anybody who's corresponded with me knows that I write books, novels, like. Good, I write a lot because it's this giant stream of consciousness because I write the way I talk and I just need to get it out. So for me, speaking is the best way. I'm excited for it, Mike. I need to figure out when he's available, but I'm going to do a couple different segments of it because I want to do some polls to figure out the topics that you guys would be interested in based on the stuff that he is an expert in. And some of the stuff I don't think you guys would be like the social work stuff that you guys aren't gonna be interested in that. But if you're interested in like, it's not even just that, it's like ethics as well. Ethics is one of his big things that he's really all about, and looking at stuff as ethical dilemmas, especially when it comes to like the parole board and the criminal justice system, and how do you make those tough decisions. And he has a lot to say about that. That's kind of, whenever I think of my dad, the word that comes to mind is ethics, actually. So, but probably some other stuff too. I can't even describe what he does. It's so much. So he's done a whole lot in his life. I am excited to do that. And I'm excited for the adoption panel too, because I'll tell my story. I have no issue talking about it. And if I can help somebody or make somebody feel like less alone with that, or if somebody will feel better to come up here and share their story about it, I think that's great. Oh, socials, hashtag shy. If you majored in social work, I guarantee it. You know exactly who my dad is. I can almost promise you that, and you're going to be like, oh my Lord. Okay. But yeah, so there are a couple people that do social work that I've always wanted to be like, I know that you know who he is, but I've always been hesitant because it's the internet and I don't want to be like, dropping people's names, and I don't have the same last name. So don't get it twisted. Not really anyways. So there's that as well. So I'm a little bit more comfortable with it because of that. Not that I care. I don't care, guys. Whatever. I know that there are people that have dug into me because I do. I know people tell me things. And I'm just like, why? What is the purpose? What is your end game for doing that? what is it about, like, what do you expect to find? I'm not important, so I don't know why, but whatever. You're not going to find, if you want to be bored to death, then go ahead. You can Google me all you want. You're not going to find anything that I haven't shared at this point. Nothing, zero. So yes, social work. I was starting to get my master's in that, and then I think a lot of the people that are attracted to social work and psychology are either people that are going to get really triggered by it, or can really do, like, help. And I was in the boat of, what I mean is people that have had experiences in their life that is similar to that kind of thing. They feel like they can use their life experience to help others. But I think for some people it's very triggering, and it was very triggering for me. So it led to some dark times in my life, having to, especially because I worked with kids, and working with kids is difficult, especially if you have a big heart like I do, and most people that work in that field. So there were some people that you could tell were just in it for the paycheck, but those were usually like the on-call, like the per diem staff that would be at the group homes. And they were paid to sit there and assist in restraints if necessary. And yes, but I have a big heart, so the kids were there for a long time, so I was able to build a relationship with these kids. Like, might as well have been mine. My master's program is, I have digital marketing, but yeah, I'm familiar with like analytics and business stuff too. Yes, but it is digital marketing. That's the concentration of it, and I'm excited about that. I almost did social media, but I don't want to limit myself to just social media, because actually social media isn't necessarily my main interest. So I would rather have an understanding of marketing in general, like the concepts, and just as I feel like it's a broader field to do it that way, because it involves a lot of different mediums. And I'm very creative. I'm shy. So if it was me putting out as like a commercial, I would be shy to do it. But if I'm like behind a brand and nobody knows it's me, then I'm golden, because I love that stuff. And I think it's a perfect career for me. I wanted to do it in the first place, but I was like, I wanted to make my parents happy, I guess. But not because they told me I had to. It was like me internalizing some stuff and wanting, feeling like I've been a disappointment. That's my own issues that I've been working on, but I'm proud of myself. So yeah, right. SA, it's true. And I feel like that's what a lot of people run into. And you bring some of those stories home with you, because a lot of those kids have been through stuff and have seen things that no child or a human being in general should have to witness. I had one kid who witnessed their dad kill their mother and then kill themselves. And imagine being a child and seeing that. That's got to be very, very rough to live with, especially at those formative years. And that broke my heart. That kid, and he had some issues. I mean, who wouldn't? I actually also went to one of these programs with somebody who was in a similar boat with that. I don't know. I would never do that with my child. I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms. But it is. A lot of the kids have been through a lot, and it was heartbreaking, because you can only do so much, and you don't want to overstep those boundaries with the kids, because you're a staff member. So you're basically like like what I was doing. I'm basically a parental figure. So I can't be their friends. And sometimes that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to just, make them feel better all the time. But if I did that, I would get walked all over. And there were some really bad days. But yeah, Mike, it is awful, some of the stuff these kids have been through. There was one kid, actually, he was only there briefly. He ran away, and I didn't see him again. I'm not sure if he's still alive, to be honest. I believe I saw in the news that he had been shot, but he witnessed something like a really brutal murder with an axe. Who does that kind of stuff in front of children? Like, honest to God, like, I feel like that's selfish, like, especially if you're choosing, at least make sure your child isn't there, please. Like, I wish people don't do that stuff at all, but that's what breaks my heart, is because these kids are going to grow up with that baggage, and some of it involves like a cycle of things, and you're never going to break free of those cycles if nothing changes. And if I can make it, I actually had a kid come back and tell me, two kids actually say that I made a big difference in their life. So, it is rewarding, but I couldn't do it long term. And then I was working with adults, and that definitely wasn't for me. Like in a group home for like dual diagnosis. Yeah, nothing is sacred to some people. You're right, SA. It's just like, and I had to do home visits too. So part of my job was also deciding whether a kid could go back home or live with a family member. And I had no business doing that job. I was fresh out of college. I was during a couple years of my life that I was doing pretty well. I got my life back on track. It went downhill again a couple years later, but it's a cycle. And those people who are familiar with that kind of thing, it is a cycle. You can do well for several months, several years, and then something pushes you. Yeah, Boys Town. I actually applied to a Boys Town, and I'm very glad that I didn't get that job, because I have also heard some very sad stories. I believe there is one near me, and that would have been a really big commute. But I just threw my my applications out everywhere right out of college. I got hired right out of college, which was really rare. So I mean, I think it was because like family connections, but I didn't like that either, because people would like know who my dad was, and they would expect me to be like some superstar that would be good at this job. But I had just gotten out of college. I had no experience. I was a struggling person myself. So I had no business making those kinds of decisions. I didn't have the experience to do it. I don't feel like I had the training I certainly didn't. And that, it didn't feel right. I felt I don't know. It's hard to be the person that makes those kinds of decisions. Yes, underpaid SA, that would be an understatement. To be kicked downstairs on bad nights and spit on and hit and all sorts of other really awful stuff when the kids were out of control, which towards the end of it, to keep state funding, they were accepting kids with severe mental illness, because people with the kids with the behavior issues or their parents were their community-based was deemed to be best practice. And as that happened, they were shutting down these group homes. And they I think it's a national thing, Mike. I really do, because I'm almost positive I applied to that, and I believe it's in maybe Portsmouth or Jamestown or Newport or one of the three. Not that anybody knows what that is, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. And to have all of that happen on a bad night, because we were accepting kids with some severe mental illness that probably belonged in a secure facility with trained staff who, were able to handle that level of behavior. But in order to stay open and to keep the state funding, for whatever reason, the director decided to lie, basically. And that's pretty much when I left after that, because we were getting kids that belonged in a lockdown facility that, yeah. Okay, Rodigal, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there is a boys club here. Boys Town, sorry. There is. I thought so. And I made $11.90 an hour to do that. And I'm sorry, like, it was rewarding. It was founded in Omaha. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. And it is underpaid, and it's hard work. And if you don't get your master's degree, a lot of the time you're gonna be working at a group home for a very long time. And everybody thinks of social work as being a therapist, or doing something that isn't that. So, your parents were psych majors at Rick? Yeah. Yes. Oh, really? I'm glad you had a good experience with that hashtag Shy, because that's not always the case. But I obviously some people stay around I think it takes a really special person to stay for a really long time. But I have the utmost respect for folks who do. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It was triggering too much of my past trauma and the places that I had been in life. And I didn't want to give it up, because I felt like leaving the job would be failure and people would be disappointed in me. but I just ended up getting myself into a really bad downward spiral that led to people being disappointed. So it was bad. I had to get out of it. And, I was like, I did retail through college. I worked at CVS pharmacy. So I had done that, and never in my entire life did I think I was going to work for Walmart, but that's where I went because, criminal justice background. I worked in loss prevention. I didn't like that either because I'm not confrontational. So having to stop people at the door who were walking out and shoplifting, like that was not my favorite thing to do. I would do the paperwork and I would leave that to other people because I am a good writer. I'll do the paperwork all day long. But stopping people who are, trying to walk out the door with thousands of dollars of merchandise, stuffed in a cart or filled in totes, that wasn't for me. Plus, there's a lot of rules and regulations on how you can legally do a stop as a asset protection person, and a lot of it is really not for people with ADD like me. So I didn't like that. So I went into management instead. I worked at the CVS. I worked at two, but not in Rhode Island. I worked at the 24-hour one in Franklin, Mass, and Bridgewater while I was in college because I got my associate's degree first at Dean, and then I went to Bridgewater. So I transferred. And yes, I was working full-time and going to school full-time and when I was at Bridgewater. And that was probably a bad choice. But you worked at a public school? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, SA, and that's gotta be hard too. I've heard a lot of stories. A friend of mine is like an aide to some, oh yeah, you are. That's right. I know. Yeah. So that's nearby. Is like an aide to, in classrooms with, kids that have some like, learning disabilities, or mostly it's autism. And she, it's rewarding, but I know it's really difficult for her, especially because if a kid's really, especially when they're a kid and they can't communicate correctly, like in a way that's and they don't feel heard. And a lot of the time they don't feel heard. Yeah, she's had some physical altercations there too. And it's hard. It's hard, but I have the utmost respect for people that do that kind of stuff long term. I think it takes a really special person to do that. And yeah, you have to make a living, Mike. And I was making more at Walmart than I was working at these group homes with a college degree. Like, riddle me that, right? But it is what it is. And then I literally broke my back for a company that, didn't ultimately care about me at all. And then I worked for a really good company that went out of business after the pandemic because they didn't want to do business in the United States anymore. And that was horrible. Yeah, like special education. Yeah. Yep. I think that's what she would do. And yeah, and she would never know what she was getting because she was kind of like per diem. So she didn't have like a classroom that she was assigned to. It was always usually a new kid. So especially if you don't have a relationship with that kid, that can even be difficult because once you make that bond and stuff. Yes, Chowder. I've heard of that very much so. Schools are getting really, especially in some of the public schools, are getting really difficult, and a lot of teachers are certainly underpaid, and it is, especially like high school teachers. I feel like in some of the ones, I don't know what learning gets done, to be honest with you. In some of them, from what I've heard from folks who were there, I'm like, what happened in school today? Oh, well, there was a fight and, desks were being like the chairs were thrown at me. What? Like, what did you learn? And yeah, especially where I live, the public schools aren't particularly great. So there's that. But private school is expensive. So, I'm very determined to make it on my own, to not need any help from, I don't want that. I'm very, very determined and very stubborn. So if I can't swing it right now, if I get, well, I don't know. I don't think I will be able to, but in theory. in theory. But yeah, the private schools are expensive too. But I don't even know how much better those are, because I've heard that I don't know what's going on, and I think it's a national thing. I don't think it's unique to where I live. I've heard that nationally a lot of stuff is going on like that, and I don't know. I don't know what the quick fix to the stuff going on in this country in general. I don't want to bring politics into stuff because that's neither here nor there. But and I feel like a lot of people say that stuff has gone downhill, but some people are like, well, that's just because, nobody likes anything new. Well, I don't know. I feel like things aren't going in a great direction, if I'm honest. I think that in some ways we've made some like advancements that's really great, but as a society, and I think that as a society, we've also made some strides in the right direction in some cases. But I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but it just doesn't have the same feel. And I can imagine that people who are older than me feel that even more so, because even when I was, yeah, you and me both, Mike, you and me both. Well, actually, I think, yeah, my entire life, sure, because I was bullied really badly in elementary school, and because the person who was bullying me, her family was a big donor, had a lot of money, was really donating a lot to the school. Their solution was I should leave. So I had to leave in April from 4th grade and go to public school, which I had never been to before. And it was actually a really great decision. I actually had a really great public school experience up until middle school. So I can't complain. And then I went to a private kind of alternative school for kids that are a little artsy, and I wasn't weird enough for that school. So I got bullied for not being weird enough there, and I was bullied for being weird at public school. So I've always been in the middle of things. Like, it's a theme. And I got kicked out of that school as well. But yeah, I believe that too, SA. I think that the kids are the future. Yeah, that's what at least where we are, Rhoda Gal. That's my impression, for sure. And I feel like, if we're not going to put that emphasis on our children, it scares me that these are the future leaders. It scares me that people my age are in the professions that they are. Like, I'll be honest, but I don't know. I'm hoping for change, but it's hard. It's hard. And I don't even watch the news at this point because, like I said, I either feel like the news is being swayed one way or the other, and I don't appreciate that because I like to get my news for what it is and not somebody else's narrative. I'll choose for myself, thank you. And or it's just stuff that if I think about it, I'm just going to worry about it constantly, and I also don't need that either. So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I can't make a difference in this. Like, me worrying about it is not going to change what's going on. So I'm just going to take a step back, and, I'm not going to go into it. I'm just not. So I don't. And sometimes people will be like, oh, did you know this was happening? And I genuinely don't, because I'm just like, I don't want to know some of these things, but I don't know what's going on, guys. I feel like we're living in some weird times for sure, especially like the past, I don't know. How long has it been now with everything? 3 years, 2 years? I don't even know anymore. And everyone's like, oh, well, this is the new normal or whatever. But I'm just like, why? I don't remember it any other way now. It's so sad and weird. I don't get it. And I'm just, I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on in my lifetime, guys. I have a feeling that, this is just getting started, but that's just my opinion. I'm also kind of a conspiracy theorist in some ways. So not that I like truly believe them, but they're intriguing. And a lot of the stuff makes sense if you like do all of that. Oh yeah, Jersey girl. Yes. He is really, he gets that kind of stuff. And when I tell you that he listens to what's going on in the community here, because it's what I do, he is, and he has some that's what was the other thing I wanted to tell you guys, is that he has views on what's going on in this community, because for whatever reason he watches it because it comes up in his recommended now that he's like subscribed to me, and he'll click on it here and there. He doesn't watch whole lives, he doesn't have time for that, but he'll listen to it and he'll be like, who's this person? And I'm dying. I've sent you, Rhoda. I've sent you some of the screenshots of the texts of what he says about. I'm like, oh my god, you're so spot on though. So I think that'll be interesting. I don't know if he'll use names. I don't think so, because I don't want anybody getting offended. I think he's just going to talk about the dynamics in general. Like, it's like every time you put people in like a concentrated area, whether that be like a corner of YouTube, like all of these societal stuff starts forming. And it's really interesting how people start behaving. I don't know if he's watching that. It might be a little late for him. I'm not gonna, he'll probably see it tomorrow. He's like, I got a notification. I clicked on it and I was like, oh my god. I was mortified when the first time he told me that. I was mortified because and he was watching my videos and he was like telling extended family about my channel. And I'm like, Dad, please do not do that, because nobody is going to understand what I am talking about on here. It is not a topic that you will understand if you are not part of this community. You will be like, why are you making these videos? And who is... I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it was very funny. And yes, I'm like, could you like wait until I, make the content that I was planning on doing about the troubled teen industry? Like, could you wait until I have something that doesn't... Yeah, he is proud of me though. He is. And I remember I would show him my sub count as it grew, like at first. And he was super proud. And we had a conversation about it. And I was like, oh, to get monetized, I have to get to 1,000 subs and I have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. And guys, the watch time doesn't work the way you think it does. And it sucks. It fluctuates based on what your videos are, the views that they're getting currently. So I was at over 2,000 hours of watch time and it's dropped. So whatever though, I will get there when I get there. If I'm meant to get there, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to stop comparing. I'm not. I've told myself this, and people have told me this 1,000 times, and I'm gonna do it. But yeah, he is a cool dad, Mike. My dad he is very cool. He is. And you know what? I mean, I haven't had the best relationship with my parents all the time, but a lot of that was my own choice. And yes, but yeah, my mom's gonna come on here too. My mom's interesting too, believe it or not. I don't want to. I think that what her area of expertise is not necessarily what people would be interested in this community, but maybe. But I mean, she's a social worker, so she's an adoption specialist, and now she does homeless outreach a lot. She's also a professor, so yeah, that's what she does. So she does her own stuff too, and she's done a lot of really awesome research and work, but I don't think that's what you guys are interested in. So there's that. But yeah, he is proud of me because I was like, and he was like, oh, do you think you can get there? And I'm like, I don't know. And why not me? Why shouldn't I be able to make a YouTube channel and see if people, like it? I mean, why not me? And yeah. And then I was seeing a whole bunch of people started watching me and interacting, and I thought it was really great. But then I guess when you get to a certain point, people expect you to, I don't know. It didn't fit my personality. And I kind of was like, I don't know where to go from here. And it put me in a weird position because as a creator, your channel is your brand. And if I want to socialize, that's like, you have to weigh the benefits and the consequences of that, because if you're seen somewhere, people will assume all sorts of things. I'm friendly with people from all over. So if I go in and chat with somebody, people will run and screenshot that and be like, look who's supporting this person now. And I learned that the hard way. And then I was considering, I was like, I should probably make an alt to do my socializing. But then I'm like, I'm not going to. March is National Social Work Month? Really? Yes, he is very good at that. Yes, my dad is, I mentioned this last night. He is like a human lie detector. And he's going to talk about that with the parole board stuff. Talking about how to tell when the inmates are bullshitting, and like the different ways you can tell, that kind of thing. And, has my dad been wrong about things? Absolutely. But not that he has a few stories about that, but I don't think I forget how many. I read it. There was an article about him that I was reading today that mentioned it, about how many people like that he released early for like a violent crime that reoffended. And it was a very small percentage, but Yeah. Actually, I've been to Israel, actually. I rode a camel there and a whole bunch of other things, but yeah, pics where it didn't happen. I have pics. That was probably no, that wasn't the last time I was out of the country, but one of the last times. And yeah, my mom probably would love to talk about that too, um, for sure. So my parents, I grew up a really different life than a lot of people, and I didn't appreciate it at the time at all. I had every single opportunity handed to me on a silver platter, and I took that silver platter and hid it across the room and refused to even acknowledge that it existed until the past couple years. And I'm glad I did, because I was adopted, so I never felt like I belonged. I always felt out of place. I had behavioral problems. I had undiagnosed ADHD. I was getting in a lot of trouble at school, and like best practice then was I had this thing called the all threes chart. And I forget what the rubric was, but if I didn't get all threes on my chart at school, then my punishment was I was in my room for the rest of the day. So when other kids were learning how to like socialize and stuff like that, I was in my room. And my parents were like, they were just doing, because, it obviously, like, you can be an expert on things all you want, but when it comes to your own child, sometimes it's difficult to kind of apply that. So they went to different, hi Jennifer, they went to different, like, professionals, and that's what was recommended at the time. So unfortunately, like, and I would, my parents are also kind of proper, so if I'm not sitting correctly they've loosened up a lot. I want to be very clear about that. My parents, it was mostly my mom. I hate yeah, I guess. You had to sit properly at the dinner table. You had to use your knife to put food onto the fork. You will not use your finger. And if you're sitting sideways, you will sit properly. And I was fidgety. I couldn't do that. So I would always be alone in my room. And that affected me as a child. But, as an adult, I've learned that, because, when you're a kid, you only see things from your own eyes. And I didn't realize that, my parents are human beings, and to deal with somebody who's struggling like that is really difficult. And I have experienced poetic justice when it comes to that. I will tell you guys that. And, it's different when you see it as an adult or a parent. And I have learned that my parents really were just doing the best that they could. And they did a darn good job. And all of that was my own choices. And that's what I was going to talk about, like my past. Like, I don't know. It took me a really long time to decide that I wanted, well, a relationship with anybody. But yeah, right, SA, I know. My parents, my mom, actually, not my dad. My dad and I have always had a decent relationship for the most part. A decent relationship. But, my mom didn't think why am I sharing this with you? But, up until we started repairing our relationship, which is in the past, I'd say 4 years, she told me, and it broke my heart. I actually cried. She said she didn't even know that I loved her. And I was heartbroken. I was like, I thought that would be obvious, but I guess not. So I don't know why I'm telling you that. But that's like the kind of thing. Like, my life, it doesn't, what I'm trying to say is that stuff like this there's no class for it, right? Like, there's like really stuff going on in just about every family. Just because people like have their lives together and they have all of these things, it doesn't mean that people are happy. It doesn't mean that there aren't issues in that household. It doesn't. So because people are always like, surprised. My sister's like a completely different, the polar opposite of me. So, she went to Ivy League school, she's does really great things with her career, and I'm me. And I've hated myself for that for a very long time. And it took actually until this past July for me to start accepting myself and thinking that I'm fine where I am, just because it's taken me so long to accept help given to me, and to kind of accept that I want to do something different in life and make that happen. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to get there. I'm still young. I'm 33 years old. I'll get there when I get there. Just because other people my age are doing other things, does not mean that they're better than me. It just means that their day one was a very long time ago and mine is very recent. That's how I have to look at it. And like I said, guys, I mean, if anything, I'm an overshare, which is why I think it's so funny when people say that I'm like, oh, she's not who she says she is. Why the flying fuck would I be? I'm sorry, language. It's at BeePlus after dark. Why would I be sharing stuff like this? Like this, I can't make this stuff up, guys. And yeah, and I told my mom like we can talk about this kind of stuff. I have no embarrassment from it. I have no shame with this, so it is what it is. And I feel like if I can help somebody, that's what matters. So if you connect with my experiences on some point, or maybe it helps you understand your own child a little bit better, that's all that matters to me. And I've been told that I've been able to do that quite a few times in my real life. So with people that I never even realized, they're like, you remind me of my daughter and you've really helped me understand. And I was like, really? Like, I don't know. Or, I had a similar experience and I never realized that, it affected me. And now I know stuff like that. So that's why I do it, because, if people want to turn people's experiences into a weapon, well, that just makes you look like a shitty person. That doesn't say anything about me. I'm open and honest about that kind of thing. And I don't know. I mean, I don't look too fondly on anybody who uses things like that as a weapon. I just don't. That's not somebody that I want to associate myself with. So if people want to do that, then, that's on them. And I'm not going to think too much of it because I know who I am. And I know that I am not any of those hurtful things. It's more annoying. And I think surprising. I don't know. It's confusing for sure. And like I said, guys, when I see stuff like that, I immediately want to come on here and go live and rant and rave about and defend myself, but I know it would just make it worse. So, and I just, if I just leave it alone, I appreciate that people tell me. I do, because it lets me know why certain people treat me the way that they do, because a lot of the time I just don't know. I don't know that somebody's trying to make it seem like I have a problem with something. I don't know. It's news to me. It's news to me that I said that or did that, or am, talking behind the scenes with somebody or conspiring against people. I don't do that shit, guys. I just don't. And I just trust that in time, the truth will come out and people will see that I have nothing to hide here. I am not lying about anything. I've been forced to be open and honest about things in my life that I wasn't planning on, discussing. And that's pretty much it. I have nothing left to discover, guys. So, I don't know. It's more frustrating, I think. It's frustrating. Because then you can't help but think to yourself, it's like, well, how do you even handle something like that? And I've never been in this position. I had a large social media presence. I had almost 129,000 followers on Instagram, plus several thousand on other platforms combined. But I was behind a brand. I wasn't behind my own face, my own voice, my own name. I was literally behind a brand that I built, and people did not know it was me. And it was really, really sad because when I got taken down, I was like, oh, well, at least I have these connections that I made. But no, everyone disappeared. Like, they don't want anything to do with you when associating with you doesn't come with clout. And I was like, but you were literally talking to me. Like, you were talking to me the whole time. So what changed? You don't want to talk to me, like actual me? I don't know. It doesn't feel good, guys. And it happens all the time. It happens all the time. People learn the hard way that it happens. And I always feel bad when I see it happen to somebody else. But, there are some genuine people, but there are also people that are, clinging on to you for all the wrong reasons. And it's hard to differentiate. I'll say that. And I missed it. But then at the same time, I fought a little bit to get it back. But then I was like, you know what? This is almost peaceful. Because, it had its drama too. Like I said, I got taken down from behind the scenes nonsense because I, pissed off a guy that I had hired to work for me who had a thing for me, first of all. And I turned him down multiple times. And I also caught him using my brand's DMs to talk to women. And I didn't like that. So like I said, I gave him a chance. I'm like, dude, you cannot use my brand as a Tinder because you made somebody very uncomfortable. And it's taking advantage almost, like, because they don't know. I don't know. It didn't sit right with me. And because a lot of my followers were younger as well, so there was like that ambiguity. I'm like, I'm not really sure that this person is over 18, and he was much younger than me. Like, I think he turned 21 with me. Actually, I think I was with him when he turned 21. I think we were in Salem together. And that was the last time I saw him or really spoke to him, actually. But yeah, he got mad because I changed the password and cut him off and was not going to give him any sort of recognition for things that he barely had any contribution to. And he sucked at doing the YouTube. That's right. You sucked. Sorry. But he doesn't watch me. Somebody tried to reach out to him about me like 2 months ago, which was weird. But whatever. He's not gonna, he doesn't care. So, but yeah, and then he was like, oh, okay. So, went and found other people that were like a competing page, and it's whatever. It was stupid. It was unfair. It was really frustrating, and I cried because it broke my heart. I put my heart and soul into that. And I did. I happened to get on Instagram when the algorithm was really easy to get into. And unfortunately, I don't think I could ever do that again, ever. So I blew up overnight. Like, I got to 10,000 within, I'd say, a month. And it just kept going from there. And I mean, I hit some stagnant parts, but that's when I brought other people into the mix because I needed some fresh ideas, a fresh style. And there was one woman who, she lived in Puerto Rico. I paid her. She was like a godsend. I was so happy that she was helping me. And I felt bad because, like, working for me, comes with perks. It was in the music business. Like, I can get people backstage with that. And this is an internationally touring band. They're not from the US, but they were coming to the US. And I was gonna offer that and then it got taken down. And I mean, I think I'll get contracted by them again to work once they do come back for a US tour. I'm almost certain of it because I have been one of the most loyal workers for free for a lot of it. And well, I did it for, it's like, you do the work, but you get, it's something, it's one thing to get invited to an after party because of what you look like, but it's a whole other feeling of being invited to an after party because of who you are and not what you look like. And the music scene was not good for me. Not good for me, but that was more before this. This is more, I had a different purpose because it was the marketing. I was running a social media page. I was basically running a fan page that got me noticed because this is an older band. They weren't on board with social media yet, and they still kind of suck at it. I mean, they're releasing a new video or song tomorrow, actually. So, and I was watching they were doing like a live feed of something, and I'm like, whoever is doing this has no idea what they're doing. So I'm hoping they get me back on board. I'm hoping. And I had to sign an NDA for that too. And when I asked why, they said it was for my own protection. And I was like, are you kidding me? Apparently a lot of the fans in that fandom are very disturbed. So, apparently it is in somebody got attacked. So it would be in my best interest to, yeah. And I was not allowed to tell anybody who I was or anything like that. And I was kind of upset about that, but it was for the best because that's more professional, right? So I don't know. I'm probably going to get off of here soon because I'm going to eat. I got food, like I said, from a local restaurant that I actually haven't had Greg's in a really long time, Rhoda Gal, but the pickles are the absolute best. Did I ever play drums? No, I played guitar. I played guitar since I was 10. I play bass and piano. But guitar is my forte. And I can like read music and all that. And that's the other thing I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to play some music for you guys. I want to. Because that's something else I could share that I have some talents. Yeah, I do. I have stuff to offer. I'm not just, somebody that wants to come on here and talk. I have a lot more to offer than that. I've done some cool things. I know how to do some cool things. And I need to play guitar some more. I mean, I have way too many guitars. I probably would do to sell some, because I can't possibly play all of them, but I have all of them in like different tunings and I use them for different things depending on the kind of music that I'm playing. But at the same time, I do have one that I like significantly more than the others. So, but I have not played drums, and I think I would be very bad at them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think my coordination is quite up to par to do that. Playing bass kind of bass is easy, but it's more the I get a little screwed up on some things. Like I'm a rhythm guitarist. I can play lead, but it's sloppy. I mean it's okay. I mean I'm no Hendrix, but I'm also been told I'm good at that. I don't think that I think that's one of the things I really should not put myself down for. But yeah, I'm more of a rhythm guitarist, not so much lead. But I can play lead. But I don't know. I am quite sloppy with it, so it doesn't always sound great. But that's okay because there's need for both. And I'm more of like the riffing type. But yeah, and I was taught classically. Like I know the chords, I know the chord progressions, I can read music. I mean, that was my parents' whole thing. If I was going to learn guitar, I was going to learn it the right way. And I had to learn on an acoustic. And then for my 13th birthday, I got a BC Rich Warlock. That's the really pointy one that looks like a bat that the guy from Slipknot had. And that guitar sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought it was the coolest thing since like sliced bread because it looked cool. But in hindsight, it's like the neck is so long. I don't need that many frets. I don't need that many frets. I barely play past like I don't know, up to the 14th maybe. So I didn't need that. It was heavy, it was bulky, and it wasn't great. So I much prefer. I'm a big fan of LTD and ESPs, but I do have a thing for. I have my bass. I have an Ibanez bass, and I have an Ibanez RG series guitar somewhere, and a Taylor acoustic. So, but my pride and joy is a really beautiful LTD that I have that with a cherry burst finish. It's heavy as hell though, so. I wish it was lighter, and I wish I had picked it up before I got it, but I had ordered it. It was like a Black Friday deal back in, I don't know what, 2016 and 17 maybe. But it's a gorgeous guitar, and it sounds really great. And I like the jumbo frets too, because I am very sloppy with some things on it, so that works out really well. But yeah, I will play some music for everybody. I've gotten some requests, so I will do that. And yeah, all sorts of things. But I am going to go eat my food. And thank you all for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, that's really a free way that you can help me out. If you're listening on the replay, hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to me, like I said, we're doing some cool stuff. And give me a chance here. And I think that people will enjoy it. If you recently unsubscribed to me for, based on the stuff that's gone on in the past 2 weeks, I hope that you reconsider that, because I'm heading in the right direction. And unfortunately, people say things a lot of the time that are not true. And if people want to come and see for themselves, I am certain that in time people will see that, that'll all be in the rear view mirror. But yeah, if you haven't hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up for me. It's helpful for the algorithm and getting the word out there. And I hope to see you guys at my next live, which will probably be tomorrow night. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, Mike. I always appreciate you in chat, and everybody else. And stay safe on those YouTube streets. They are certainly rocky with some really awful potholes right now. So don't just be gentle. Yes. So I will be around. I might go into some chats later. I feel like people get offended when I don't. It's more so that I eat and then I go to sleep. So I'm not up. There are a lot of people that are up like all night doing this. And I'm like, I have insomnia too. So if I didn't like, yeah. So I'm able to sleep because I am. And yes, but if I didn't, I probably would be on here too. But yes, thanks for stopping by, #Shy. You know that I always appreciate your input. You have a lot of really insightful stuff to say, as does Golden, who is also here. And when you guys are both here together, that's always a good thing. So, and there's some other people too, but you guys are the two ones that are consistently coming in here and saying some really insightful stuff. And yes, I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so very much, and have a great night, guys.